Yeah, this is my 6th grade graduation, man.
Churches, man. Right.
Nah, man.
Yo, take that shit off, man. No, don't go live with that shit playing.
I like that enough from playing, man. I mean,
yeah, I forget what I say.
We're live.
We live, baby.
Are we live?
Yes, sir.
Microphone check, microphone check. Hey, we're back at it. Your Opinionated Facts, week 23. We have a deep dive this show. We're gonna dive into some deep issues, racism in the NFL. I got a question for these guys once we get started here, but let me introduce everybody in the building.
There we go. We're good.
To my far left, we have Mr. Jacklison Ruiz is back in the building. You want to say something?
I was sharing, man. Feeling good. The sun is brighter today. The air just... I took that deep breath when I stepped out the house this morning because the Cowboys lost last night. Everything just feels right. I even heard birds chirping, but there's no birds around. I'm like, what is going on with me today?
Jeez.
Everything just feels right, man.
He just gave the Cowboys... He just bring the Cowboys in right off the bat.
Got to, man, because they do the same thing to us, man. I'm gonna kick you while you're down and stay down there. It's been 30 years already, man. You should be used to being in the cellar, man.
Listen, I'm not that angry. I'm not that angry.
You're not capable. You're like that battered. You're like that battered wife. You're just used to taking it, man.
I'm like you guys before you guys won the Super Bowl.
No, well, that doesn't exist anymore.
Hold on, man. Let's get through the introductions, man. In the middle, we have Seville back in the building. One of the hosts of King's Court back in the building with the Opinionated Facts team.
What's going on out there,
TCP family.
Shout out King's Court.
Yes, sir. Extended Opinionated Facts fam. We also have Dixon on the boards.
Yep.
Another host of King's Court. Another extended member of the Opinionated Facts team as well. Now, before we dive into what we need to talk about here, my question was, with the big recent thing with R. Kelly, that's been the big news thing. We're a sports podcast and all that, but do you think, what's wrong? What culture is more wrong? Is the NFL's racism more wrong? The blatant show of racism in the NFL more wrong? Or the lack of child protection in the music industry more wrong?
Well, Hollywood. Yeah. Not just music industry. It goes to Harvey Weinstein. It goes to Cosby. It's the trickle-down effect, and victims become abusers, man. And it's all a matter of who's making me the most money, man. Like, R. Kelly today is not R. Kelly of our childhood, who's putting out hit after hit, like, at a crazy pace, and disgusting person, man. But it's not nothing that I didn't know. It's just when you put everything out in a 6-part documentary setting, it's just like, man, like, he's not just doing it to little girls, he's doing it to grown women, too. So he's... At this point, he got that ring around him, and money buys you that. So the NFL, it's an old white man's league, and they prove it every year when it comes time. Like, it's just, the Rooney Rule. I don't even know if they followed it this year because a lot of people were getting hired without, I feel like Jim Caldwell just gets that tour. Like, like, we're not gonna hire you. Come visit the facility, and we're gonna say we interviewed you, and we can really hire who we want to hire. Like, it didn't really hit me until Cliff Kingsbury got hired. And like, how do you get fired and you get a better job? Like, right away without paying your dues? Because he took the USC offensive coordinator job, which would have made sense because he fizzled out at Texas Tech. It started when he picked David Swebb over Baker Mayfield. Fail. Yeah. Well, he couldn't win with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is doing in the NFL.
That's the only success he had was with Patrick Mahomes.
But he went 15
quarterback.
He went 15-21 with him.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So there was really no success, and I don't like Mahomes. He's become who he's become. He's an NFL MVP this year to me.
Hands down.
So and he proved it yesterday too. And it's just a lot of things with the NFL. They're so big, man. They own the day of the week.
Yeah.
So they're so big, and it's like they take us, the fan, for granted. And, you know, they, like, I didn't want to say it on air, but they piss on you and you tell you it's raining. And some of us will just be like, you know what, this rain is, damn. But you take it because you love the sport. And especially me, like there's no better time right now because my team won the Super Bowl last year, defending champs. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to act like it's not happening. But at the same time, it's like, Gase, you got fired from the Dolphins job. You just get the Jets job off what?
Exactly.
Like, you trade away your best. You're like the new Chip Kelly. You trade away your best players because they have a little bit of a backbone and they don't agree with everything you say.
Right.
You know, you trade Ajayi. You got rid of Sue. You got, you know, and now you left Miami with nothing. And who gets the Miami job? Well, reportedly, the only minority hire, Flores from the Patriots. I don't know if that was official yet. But
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, Brian Flores, shout out to him. I looked him up. I don't know what he is. I don't know if he's black. I don't know if he's Spanish. I know he's one of the two.
You just know he's a minority hire.
Right. So, but he's paid his dues. He's the coordinator for the Patriots, and it's, you know, he's 39, and that's the new wave. How do y'all feel about that? To where it's like now you're they used to be like when McVay got hired at 31, people were like, wow. Like,
well, how Mike Tomlin was like 33, 34 when he got hired.
True.
Mike Tomlin was young.
Well,
Mike Tomlin, like, is one of the best coaches in the league. I mean, I know they didn't make the playoffs this year, but and his team, like, it looks like a barn fire right now, or hay fire, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But
dumpster fire.
Dumpster. I mean, there's a lot of fires we can have.
It's all in. Yeah.
But anyway, Tomlin, like, with sustainability, he got a Super Bowl already, and he runs his organization without any major, you know, flaws outside of AB coming along this past recent years and doing what he does. But
speaking of AB, you see Rooney came out and said, whoever Rooney is, it's the owner. I know the one owner passed away, but the Rooney family's still in charge of the Steelers. He said it'd be hard to see Antonio Brown back in 2019 with the Steelers.
There's only so much you can do. Like, there's only so much you can take as a coach, like, and not ruin your whole.
But I feel
they did it with this guy. What's his name?
Harrison.
Nah, from the receiver from with Ohio State.
San Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio Holmes.
He was a head case though. And he couldn't stay clean. So,
but
it's just
he was a baller though. He was a baller. Like,
I mean, AB, the best receiver in the league.
But when Brown sees that he doesn't talk to Roethlisberger the same way he talks to him, or he tries to, let's say I mess up, I'm Antonio Brown, you're Roethlisberger, coach checks me, but he doesn't check you, that starts a problem.
And that's where it gets dicey for my man Tomlin.
Because all your superstars have separate rules, but
as a coach, our motto is, we'll treat you fairly, but we won't treat you equal.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just what it comes down to. I mean, like, we'll treat you fairly, but equal? Everybody's not equal.
Yeah.
Especially at that level, like, especially at the NFL, you're going to treat AB the same way you treat the fourth or fifth receiver?
No.
And then just the position that he's in, and like with how it is, like we said, we're gonna talk about race. You a black man, you know what I'm saying, and you out here acting a fool in front of the media. Like, just me as a coach and a black man, like, I'm gonna hold you to a higher standard and been anyway because I'm black. We black. We ain't supposed to. We're privileged right now. Like, everybody don't get this position, this platform to do what we're doing. You going out here to get paid millions of dollars to do what you love, but there's a way to go about it. And don't getting money and you acting niggerish. You're doing what they expect you to do, man. Like, tighten up.
I mean, it's just knowing Antonio Brown's background, and you know he's homeless at one point. He's late round pick. I'm not gonna throw the round out there. I don't know off top. Late round pick. I think people expect him to be more humble. So when he doesn't do that, it's like, why aren't you this way? Like, that's just the way he is. Nobody knows the sacrifice he's put in and to his craft, and I guess he took it personal when the team voted Smith-Schuster as the team MVP. Is he wrong? Is he wrong for that?
Like, yo, your team voted. Like,
yeah.
That's on. They see what goes on every day.
He was balling.
If he's on any other team, he gets a lot more acclaim. But I mean, he's on that team, and their offense is ridiculous, and they have two great receivers. So we'll see what they do. They won't get fair value for him.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't. Would you want to see him as an Eagle? I see that rumor going around. I don't even know if they got the money to pay him.
I'll take it.
Man,
Let's get to the comments here.
All right, we got some comments. Oliver says that. Marquis says, like Molly Quirm said, he has a complexion for the selection, in reference to the Dolphins hire. Red said, all teams are looking for the next McVay, and that's how Kingsbury got his job.
Kingsbury wasn't good. Like, I don't know why he's considered this offensive genius.
McVay,
He had the best quarterback right now in the NFL, arguably. He has arguably the quarterback with the best season. And he couldn't win 10 games with him at Texas Tech in the Big 12.
but they don't play defense.
Yes.
So, I mean, but it's just, people look at the result. Like, McVay was for years in Washington, and they weren't known for a prolific offense. So it's kind of crazy how he ended up being this offensive, and he is, but there was no success in Washington to that level. So
It's blatant racism. And, like, what goes on in the music industry, back to the music industry, like, that is blatant child, I don't want to say pornography, but it's like basic,
child
like,
abuse.
Child
yeah,
abuse.
like pedophilia. Like, it is crazy what goes on. What's crazy, what's considered, like, normal, and we accept it.
I don't think it's normal anymore. I think the generation right after us is shining a light on them, and they're putting out these old videos, be like, "What's up with this? What's up with this? Y'all co-sign this? Y'all co-sign that?" It's just like it's getting to the point they're putting pressure on these people, but canceling them is a whole different thing.
What's crazy is, like, growing up, like, you see the kids on TV, I'm like, yo, you wanted to be it so bad. Now they're our age. Like, you see the dude Orlando Brown, like, what happened? Something happened to you because you self-medicating, like, all these stuff. You're hearing these stories about y'all all getting touched, like, from the 80s, the Corey dude, then the B2K, like, Raz B. I'm like, yo, it's like, dog, like they say be careful. They say be careful about wishing about having what somebody else had because you don't know what they went through, and that's real. Like, here's the whole time, like, y'all can keep that money being child stars, like, get touched and all that craziness, man, like.
Exactly. Like,
That's
we all
wild.
when we were kids, and we didn't realize what these kids were going through.
Right.
Like, we're talking about, like, you guys mentioned on King's Court how Lil' Kim was, like, 16 on that album cover. Like, that was okay. Like, people looked at that and was
Right.
grown men was getting excited about a 16-year-old.
That was a lot of that's poster in jail.
I mean,
Oh, no.
like, Foxy was young when that stuff came out, and these are heroes that we look up to that was bigging them up. Like, I'm a Diddy fan, and
Right.
like, yo, they're wilding. Like, that thing was crazy, man. And we look at, like, Lil Bow Wow, who was probably out here messing with grown women. Grown women when he was a little kid.
Lil Wayne,
Tell Lil
bragging
Wayne
about it.
story.
Man, I don't want to go
Even-
into that. You
even
heard
Turk-
Lil Wayne story?
Nah, but even Turk said that.
Oh,
He
Turk,
said-
Turk got touched, man.
Like, cause Turk was like, he said everybody, he said Charlamagne had said something about the whole thing, R. Kelly thing. He said, but you just went on air and said you drugged a female, you know what I'm saying, had sex with her without her knowing. He said, but why? He said, me and Lil Wayne was going on these tours. He said, these grown women were sleeping with us. He said, we weren't complaining. He said, me and Lil Wayne, like, yo, I had that old head in there screaming. He said, but ain't nobody saying nothing to these older women, though.
Exactly.
Oh, it's the culture we're in, man. It's
You know
just
what I'm saying?
like,
But it's like it's wrong on both sides.
Real.
But it's just like, yo, how can we, like, how is this considered okay? And I know, like, the way we grew up like, you know, in our culture, in our society, coming from where we come from, like, it was okay to, like, try to get that older girl, like, we wanted that.
Right.
Or, like, we saw the old head coming to pick up the girl from school, like, and it was normal.
Right.
So now we're in this era where, like, yo, that was wrong, and nobody was telling us it was wrong.
And not necessarily pick them up from school. They could be just dating an upperclassman.
Yeah. And nobody said anything wrong. Parents are almost condoning it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know, but
Oh, we got some more. Mark Atkins wrote, Deuce Staley got a job interview for head coach job because the Rooney Rule kind of messed up.
Deuce always gets, like, the Rooney Rule interview.
Him and Jim Caldwell, man. Like, it is what it is. They know their way around the rule, but it's just more so like the Tony Dungy's of the world. He's the only one that comes to mind. Like, they're not putting anybody in the forefront. Like right now, only guy I can think about was Eric Bieniemy. That was the actual legitimate head coach guy. Outside of that, it's the same retreads. They, you know, like, They can't talk about John Gruden anymore. He's in Oakland now, so it's the same guys every offseason. And I mean,
not to cut you off, but like it's systematic. Like there's not no black coordinators. There's not no minority coordinators really, and it comes from like you're putting. So you're telling me like a majority of players that come from the league are 80-90% African American, and we can't have no coaches that are qualified enough to become a coordinator after their playing career. You said Eric Bieniemy. He just happens to be on Andy Reid's staff, who the last two coordinators got big time jobs with Peterson taking the Eagles job and Matt Nagy, Lancaster boy, 717, taking the Bears job.
Right.
But like he was just next in line as the next coordinator, so they're going to throw his name out there. But like we're getting passed over for coordinator jobs.
Like there's two players right now. They play on the same defense, and I just knowing them play, I know for sure they can be coordinators. Ed Reed and Ray Lewis.
I think Ed Reed's down at the high school level, if I'm not mistaken.
For sure, Ed Reed. Cerebral guys like that, like guys that can, like you can see on the field, like yo, he can call plays, like
design packages, and especially somebody like Ray Lewis, who was designing defense while he was playing. I don't know if that's the career path he wants, but like those are people that they can go out there and try to get.
Right.
Like we're giving these guys who were just standing next to Coach McVay while he was going to the bathroom, and we're giving them head coaching jobs. Like,
I was trying to show a guy last night. I didn't even know his name. He's like the quarterback coach now. And they were like, his name was Zach something. Like, he's gonna get some looks. I'm like, I don't even know who this guy is, man.
He just standing next to the guy, man. Like it's just crazy, man.
That's the one thing I always thought was funny. Like you talk about these coaches that come from underneath, like great head coaches, but you forget these great head coaches and these coordinators coach great players. So you think they just ain't sitting in these rooms and not listening. They soaking this stuff up too, man.
It's blatant racism, and like my brother, we always argue about him. You know, he left the NFL. He left watching it, stopped supporting it, stopped playing fantasy, stopped doing whatever. And it's hard for me because I like the game. Like I love the game, but I love the game at all levels. So like I'm youth, college, high school, whatever. But like I see why people can leave it. Like it's just frustrating to see year after year after year. So it's definitely a grind. I don't know what we can do to fix it.
There's really nothing we can do to fix it. I look at it as an addiction for me now. Like I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm not an alcoholic, but I can see how some people, like, it's hurting you. Like, it's hurting you to drink that bottle every day. It's hurting you to smoke that pack every day, but you do it because it makes you feel good. Today at 4:40, I'm going to turn the game on, and when comes 7:30, 8 o'clock, if the Eagles win, I'm going to feel great, euphoric. Like, I'm going to feel like I was out on that field.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing like it, so I'm weak. I'm a weak person. I look at you, I'm weak.
NFL rehab.
But I think it's because you played, though, too.
Well, that too, but it's the Eagles. Honestly, the Eagles are the only team that ever give me that feeling. I've seen the Phillies win a chip. The Sixers are what the Sixers are, but the Eagles win. Like now I know what it's like to win a Super Bowl as a fan. But before, like it was just like they win a big game in Green Bay or something, and I'm like, yo, like I'm on top of the world. I don't feel that with any other sport, any other team. Like it's nothing like it, and it's like I don't like certain things.
Yeah.
Like that's like like you don't like certain things in life. You don't like certain things in your marriage. Does that mean you're just gonna get divorced? You're just gonna stop paying attention to that person, or like it's hard. And I'm calling myself weak, and I can't walk away. I can't. I have my own little. I only watch Eagles games.
That's your
and Cowboys games too when they're in the playoffs. Far few in between.
I watch football. Like I'm like football. You know
right.
I mean?
Like, it's just hard because it's wrong and it's corrupt and like you're not. It's not affecting you because I'm not a coach on that level to where I want to. I'm getting passed over for NFL coaching jobs, or it's just it's wrong, but you just can't turn away.
This what makes it jacked up. If that's the case, then why aren't we like that with college football?
Right.
Because basically these college athletes are slaves.
Yeah. We're being exploited. I mean, that's That's
Like,
another whole
That's a
issue.
whole
You
nother.
know what I'm saying? Like,
No, you're right. We pick and
and,
choose. We pick and
and,
choose.
and that's still majority populated by what? Black
What?
black athletes.
Well, I'm saying white coaches.
White
Like,
coaches.
There's so
but
many, and there's
black-
so many college coaching jobs, but all
Yeah.
the premier ones, for the most part, I can
Right.
think off top are white
White
coaches.
guys, yeah.
And that's the thing about, like, when they hire black, like, they don't get another chance. If you fail being black, you go down to the D League just about. Like,
Well, if you look at Marvin Lewis had 13 years.
Well,
in
he's the
Cincinnati.
opposite of.
But he didn't deserve all 13.
That's black privilege, man.
What was
I'll tell you,
Cincinnati
He
like
probably
before
had some pictures
Yeah.
of the owner, like in
Right, that's what I'm saying. Because after like year,
I'm not gonna say that because it's hard for us to get them. So when we get them, if they don't deserve to have them, so what?
Man,
There's like a
after
million
year eight,
coaches.
after year 8, like, come on, dog, like, enough's enough.
Nobody got the Cincinnati job there, right? They said
don't
Hugh.
think-
Now I think it's still open.
I think it was that coach from the Rams. They were talking about Mike Edit. I think it's Zach Taylor, the quarterback. I've never heard of the guy. But
Now, one black guy who is like around every head coaching job that I can't understand is Hugh.
he's a quarterback whisperer, so they try to make him out to be something that he's not. I mean, he made Andy Dalton somewhat a good quarterback.
Can't stay neither one. Him or
He's
Adrian
not a
can't
head
stay
coach,
healthy,
but I
man.
feel like he's a good coordinator or a quarterback
Yeah.
coach. But he wants to. He has the aspirations to be a head coach.
See, that's the
So
problem. Sometimes you just gotta learn. We're good at this thing. Like, stick to it, man. Like,
yeah,
like Rex Ryan, hell of a defensive coordinator. Okay as a head coach, but who wants an okay head
but
coach?
he's making that TV money now. He might never come back. So
They got
He
Gruden.
shouldn't.
They got Gruden. You got any more comments there?
Oh yeah, we got Deuce Staley, the assistant head coach from Tim Goodson Jr. What's going on, Tim?
well, yeah, he's a good name. I mean, he's never called plays. He's never it gets to the point where you want to I don't know what the word is. You want to force the black narrative or
If
force the
Doug went
minority.
down, do you trust Deuce
See,
to lead you guys to the Super
in
Bowl?
what way? How's he gonna go down?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know.
No,
I don't know. I'm
Even,
sorry,
if he broke,
yeah,
even
yeah.
if he broke his leg, he gonna go
Yeah,
to
I don't
the
know.
booth
You know what I mean?
He'd have to die of a heart attack.
Is
or
it
something.
just a position then just for him? Like he's just holding that position because he's never going to go down?
But I mean, there's certain coaches that know that they're not head coach material, like Jim Johnson.
You know, say Deuce is not the head coach.
I'm just using Jim Johnson, one of the greatest defensive minds that ever came into football. He knew he wasn't a head coach material, and he became one of the greatest defensive coordinators to ever do it.
You see how
Like
much
Dawkins
he
might
messed
not be a Hall of Famer if it wasn't for Jim Johnson and the way he used him in the defense.
Because you see what happened when we lost him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This guy almost won.
Jay out
He
coach
took us to
Rob
the-
Marinelli last night.
Yeah, he was a head coach, and he figured out, no, this ain't for me. I'm gonna go be the best defensive coordinator I can be. And I don't really think he's a D coordinator. Chris Richard should get a head coaching
He
job.
took over the linebackers and D-backs.
Well, Chris Richard should be a name that gets mentioned, but it's not because he's
He
done it in
was. I thought he
Seattle.
was. I thought he was getting some head coaching interviews.
There's no positions left. So as far as I think Miami's unofficial, and
Cowboys is still open.
Chris Richard is a hell of, and he's young too.
Tim
And-
Goodson said James Franklin is on a short leash. And the
Oh,
addiction is
man.
real. Bleed green.
I mean, no, he's not.
I hope Franklin is doing. I mean, they're winning 10 games a year. I don't know. Like, if you're winning 10 games a year, you're winning division titles, and you get fired, that next guy has to come in and win a national title, or he has to win a Super Bowl.
You win them with your guys too, and then be like, why did we get rid of him? Because he's a
Yeah.
great recruiter.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what the expectations are. Everybody's not going to win every year. But when you're a consistent contender, that has to be good enough at some time. Like, if you get rid of,
Especially
Like-
the way he came into the program, where Penn State was at.
yeah,
Like, you had him back at that level, and
but Bill Bradley did a good job
yeah, but
there,
Bill
too.
Bradley's only there for what?
3 years. It was
3
3
years.
years.
But he was never fully invested, and
Nah,
you could tell he wanted to get
yeah.
back to the NFL.
He wanted to be a head coach. He wanted to be a head coach in the
And
NFL.
what the hell has he done
Couldn't
in
play
Houston?
no bowl games anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
He had the great Christian Hackenberg.
but Coach Franklin did
Should have left.
I think Coach Franklin's doing a good job. He keeps them relevant. He keeps them contending. They just got to win big games, and they're one of the top 10 recruiting classes every year. That's hard to do if you ever been to State College. I mean, nice
Yeah, no.
facilities.
Compared to other, you're selling it compared to Alabama's of the world, the Florida
Yeah.
States, or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, it's hard to sell Penn State Happy Valley, and he does it year in, year out.
Yeah.
So that
Shout out to Coach Franklin. No, that's one of my guys too.
friend of the
so.
show, friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Friend of the show.
I've actually met the guy and sat down and had a conversation with him back in the high school days. So when he was at
Yeah.
Maryland.
That's what I'm
So
saying. Like, he's been good at recruiting since then, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He built up
So,
Maryland
yeah.
with Coach Friesen.
But I guess it's that time of the show to talk about your Cowboys, Dixon. Man,
We talk about they.
gave up 250 on the ground.
This is our
Did
coach.
it bother you more because of who it was, or because this guy really stepped
I
off
had
his
no
couch?
idea where he came from.
C.J. Anderson is a name.
I know,
just didn't know
he's-
he was never that big. He
I
was
know
like
he's
he was with
240.
Carolina, with the Raiders, like. And
I remember playing. I just didn't know he
Came
was
back with a
240.
lot.
the
Carolina
Bron- he
Rock
started.
like
He
that.
started with the Broncos. He came back with the dad bod and gave y'all the
Yeah,
business.
yeah. Listen, it was the calls at the line of
Belly.
scrimmage that were killing
Like a
us.
baby
So
Tolbert last
They said
night.
he's a bowling ball of butter knives, yo.
Here's my C.J. Anderson story. I was in the fantasy championship 2 weeks ago, and they say I find out at about 2:00. I'm not a fantasy like because I say I'm in the fantasy championship.
You're not a guru.
Yeah, I'm not.
lucky. And
I'm not that guy that
It's
is
luck.
out shopping. Like I made like one trade all year, and that's because my quarterback had a bye, and I needed a quarterback. I didn't even know my quarterback had a bye until that Monday when somebody hit me up and told me. So I'm not like a fantasy guy.
Life gets in the way sometimes. Like, we
Yeah,
get it. We
yeah.
get it. But we have people in our fantasy group that are about that life and 10 trades a week type people.
Yeah.
And like and those, they win sometimes. They win, but it's frustrating sometimes because then you make that trade or you might forget to put somebody in your lineup. But not to cut you off, but I was going on a rant because that happens to me a lot. And like I swear I'm not gonna do fantasy football anymore. And every year it just brings me back in. So
I want to stop too. But so I'm in the championship, and because I drafted well, I drafted Todd Gurley, who carried me there basically. Gurley gets out. They announce him out at like 1:00 for a 4:00 game. I don't know what to do. I'm like, I don't know what to do because half the games are played already, so half the teams are playing. The 4:00 games are going up. So I call, other people in the fantasy league who seem to be fantasy gurus. And now at this point, there's money on the line. So, if I got a chance to win, I'm going to try to win. So I call one, and they're like, oh, look, you need to pick up his backup, C.J. Anderson. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Mind you, I go to pick up C.J. Anderson, and the guy that I'm playing against already goes and picks him up.
just to put him on the bench.
Not even to play him. Just to put him on the bench. Just to have him on the bench.
I would have did the same.
Yeah.
Just so I can't get him.
That's deep.
I'm like, I don't even know. And this guy went out and had like 25 that week, which would have helped, put me in position to win the championship. That's my C.J. Anderson story. That's the only reason I know who he is. But the Cowboys short enough to do now.
250.
You got him and Gurley going at you. I mean, Jesus.
Crazy.
Yeah, they just kept the offense off the field. I didn't feel like Dak missed some he missed some throws, but we were in the game. We were in the game.
And they held Zeke to 49 yards rushing, didn't they?
They put 8 in the
49,
box
40.
consistent,
Yeah.
like 8 in the box. Like,
Like,
We
make
didn't
somebody
run,
else.
we got out coached. Dak should have ran the rock more. We got to open it up.
Make somebody else beat you. And the Cowboys couldn't do it.
Dominican Sue finally showed up.
Yeah, the Rams D
That's
line
the most
finally
I
got a
heard his
rushing
name all
defense.
season.
Yeah.
It's a great day when you wake up. Like, I want to bed happy that the Cowboys lost last
Be
night.
careful. Don't
Memes
talk
were
too much
funnier.
though.
No, it's not the same. That's the
Okay.
problem. Like you guys think like we're on the same level. We're not. Like we are the Super Bowl champs. We lose today.
You're right.
We lose today. Okay, you're gonna get your jokes off today, but at the end of the day, I can.
I don't even have jokes. I'm
No,
I'm
not
sorry, I'm
you.
cool.
Cowboys fans in general think
Right.
that our plight is the same plight as yours. You are irrelevant. And you don't know that's the worst kind of people. You don't know you're irrelevant. Like them people that think that just talk and like I'm up here, I'm in the best in my game. I'm the world champ. And this guy down here think he can talk to me. Last thing he won was in '96. Like like nobody in '96 can tell me anything if I just won it last year. So it's kind of like it is what it is. Eagles might lose today. I mean, 48-7 would tell you that they're probably gonna lose today.
Oh, don't talk like that, man.
No, because I got facts behind that though.
Thank
But for last team, this doesn't happen very often, where a team will lose by 40 points in the regular season and have to play the same team in the playoffs. Last time it happened was 2010. You know the two teams that were involved? Jets and Patriots. Jets lost 45-3 to the Patriots in the regular season, week 13. Turned around in the playoffs, beat them 28-21.
Is that when Bart Scott was like, can't
Yeah,
wait?
yeah.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
So if Mark Sanchez can do it, Nick Foles can do it.
Right.
And it's just the Saints were at their highest, the Eagles were at their lowest. Like their whole secondary was there's guys not even on the team anymore.
Right.
So
Maddox is playing out his mind right now.
Like he needs to stop being so greedy though.
Yeah.
Like he getting burned on them double moves, and I understand he's a rookie.
A little Santi Samuel-ish.
Yeah. When it hits. But at the same
bad.
time, like everything is just looking right, man. Like I'm just.
I think this like really like McLeod. I wasn't really high on him. I say put Rasul Douglas at that strong safety position.
I think because I was the same way.
He can tackle, yo.
He can tackle.
He can
he's
tackle.
A good corner too.
Yeah, but he can cover, so he can cover he'll be able to cover the slot.
Graham has been balling out at safety, but he's old, so he's not like a long-term solution. But
Rasul just been like
he's been leading the team in tackles last 5 games.
Short tackle, like you're not if he grabs you, you're not breaking that tackle. Open field, man. He's been balling.
One. Like our secondary they have to come to play.
Yeah,
because
you can't.
Well, it's on the scheme too. The way Schwartz was playing it last game was horrible. Playing them 10 yards off.
Yeah.
And when they bring in Hill at quarterback, they like to run 2 receivers on each side, and you're playing 10 yards off. They run a little screen. They got 5 yards before you even tried it, and they were tackling horribly.
Like comment, they said that how were they good? There's a bunch of busted coverages from last game.
Okay, but that's why you watch film, and that's you adjust.
And the busted coverages didn't happen until like second half, and like we're talking like early mid fourth quarter.
Yeah, balls being there. You had guys that don't belong in the NFL secondary. So it's like we're not making excuses. Facts are facts. The Eagles have played 13 guys in their secondary this year. Right. We shouldn't be here playing with house money, man. So talk your shit, and I'm gonna be here to respond. It is what it is. If the Eagles,
got a good feeling,
for some reason, lose today, you're not gonna bring my spirits down. Like I can.
Cause you're out.
You're out. Like you're taking joy. Like, did you get to go to a parade in February? I did. Did you? No.
It does take solace in knowing that the Cowboys are like if we don't.
It would have been nice to go in the Cowboy Stadium next week.
I want to play you guys.
That would have been
so bad.
That would have been great.
That's what I wanted.
Because you know what happened in 1980, but that's neither here nor there. But it just wasn't meant to be, and now it sets everything up to where the Cowboys are going to be even more strapped financially because they're going to have to pay Dak, they're going to have to pay Jason Garrett, and you don't have a first-round pick next year. Cooper was worth it, don't get me wrong, but to build teams, you need that first-round pick talent. I mean, and you guys have been hitting on your draft picks. I'm not going to lie. Like your 2 linebackers and other people like Jones, like the corner, Pro Bowler. Mm-hmm. So the Cowboys have built a decent team, but are they built for the long haul? We'll see. Like, you can say Dak didn't really make it. Dak didn't have any turnovers yesterday. It's like 24-3 now when he doesn't turn the ball over. Then he had one of them yesterday. They lost, but
he's like top 5 since he's been in the league too.
Top 5 what?
Like with his record.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll move forward because Dixon looks like a little down over there.
Yeah,
I ain't down.
He looks a little upset.
I'd be down too if I had to come in here
and
and take
my feelings are hurt, man. I hurt my feelings watching that game, man. Watching them run the ball down our throats.
I mean, at least you lost to one of the best offenses in the league.
I'm just like, yo, he really was gashing y'all. I was like, golly.
Any more comments?
Yeah, Ron Miller, he's posting a bunch up. He's saying doesn't matter when, and they're playing today. Please bring me up there. He's been, he said, Wentz or Foles. Which one are you guys picking?
It's starting to get to that point, man.
It's not. No,
it is big.
It's not.
If Foles wins another Super Bowl,
no,
he's out.
Wentz is our starting quarterback.
But you sell high, right? You sell high.
You're not selling Wentz.
If somebody came to you like 3 first-round picks for Carson Wentz,
yes.
No one's coming with that. Maybe 2.
You guys, you know about Herschel Walker.
Maybe 2.
Cowboys that
that
Cowboys dynasty is because of the Viking star Herschel Walker was it.
Well, the knock on Wentz is he can't stay healthy, so he only played 1 full year. That was his rookie year.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean the jury's still out on what he can do, but the potential he showed, we would be fools to let him go for anything less than.
I feel like an idiot saying it. I feel like but if the Eagles win another Super Bowl, it's the question gets had, like, because you have Maybe here's the one thing they could do. They could bring back Foles for another year, like at $20 million.
And too, though, man.
It puts that shadow on Wentz. But
let's not forget preseason Foles this year. Let's not forget week 1 Foles this year.
how about we play Wentz during the regular season and bring Foles in for the playoffs? Can we do that?
I mean, yeah, it's unconventional. It's unconventional, but why not?
A dual threat quarterback situation.
Yeah, but it's just like it's a great situation. Not a great situation to be in because you like Wentz to be out there because you know what he's about. But when you bring in Foles and like every year, it's like I don't think we play the Rams next year. But we play the Rams, he's getting hurt or he's not making it to the Rams game, and I doubt Foles. But then he quickly he'll do something, he'll make a throw, and it's just like all right, we can win with you.
Well, we know we can win with him now.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Last year happened.
Last year, like when Wentz went down, people was talking shit, and the whole time I was confident. Yo, I forget we can win with Foles, man. Like he's played. It was like, oh, he was at the Rams. Like, yeah, Jim Fisher messes up everybody. Like, only good quarterback he had was Eric McNair, man.
Yeah,
that's it.
That tells you how great McNair was.
Yeah, that's it. So I've always been confident. But my thing, I want Nick just ball out, get his money, man. Like,
he might retire, man. Who knows?
He has been flirting around with that retirement thing.
He was already retired. He was already going to retire.
Why not? I mean, at that point, his career was down.
It's just like, can the Eagles just win the championship without making it the most dramatic shit?
Can the Eagles just win the night?
No, they're going to win the night. But I'm just saying, like, every year, it's just
I'm confident about the night. Like, seriously.
Really?
Shit, that's good.
What makes you confident?
It's crazy. Like, the games last year, last week, the first couple plays, I just knew we was going to win that game. Even after the last minute, the person I was watching it with, she's like, "Oh no, we're gonna lose. Like, we're not gonna lose. We're gonna win this game, yo." Like, I could tell. I've been watching the Eagles long enough to could tell within the first 2 drives how we're playing if we're gonna win that game. You know what I mean?
I just don't know what it is with how much freedom does Wentz have out there? Because I feel like when Wentz goes down and Foles is in there, you see how great of a play caller Peterson is. And I used to be because you see, and that's the thing, with football, us coaching it, us playing it, a lot of it is for show. Yeah. You'll see Wentz out there, kill. Did he really kill the play? You don't know. Yeah. He could just be doing that so the defense thinks he's audibling or whatever. So there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. So you don't know if Wentz audibled, and then sometimes it works great. Sometimes you're like, what the hell was that? So with Foles, you see, my favorite play of the game last week was that double fake screen, and then he hit Goddard for the first down. Yeah. Who thinks like that? That was a great play, and I was like, just things like that, like Peterson's play calling and knowing when to go for it, and sticking with the run last week when they really didn't have. They had 20 some carries for 40 yards as a team. On paper, doesn't look like anything, but it kept drives going. When they run the play action, the Bears had to respect it.
Yeah, because Hicks single-handedly shut the run down by himself.
Yeah.
Hicks was
I mean, Mac, everybody wants to say Mac disappeared. Mac played well against the run. He was in there he had a couple tackles for losses.
But can we get an old man some credit? Peters played like a dog.
Lane Johnson, too. I saw one play where he had Mac up in the air.
That's when we're winning games at. We're winning games up front, and our defense is playing a lot better right now.
That's the thing. Our O-line was hurt. I don't know if y'all follow Brian Baldinger. He's a former player. He played for the Eagles, Cowboys. His Twitter account is the best. He breaks down everything from every major game, and he was showing that Eagles going against Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan's a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Lane Johnson had a hurt knee. Right. Had a big ass knee brace on. He couldn't plant his leg. He's out there battling, and he didn't. I don't think he gave up. He gave up maybe 1 sack, but Wentz got hit so much that game.
Yeah.
So he couldn't plant that leg. He tried to go plant it. He just couldn't do it. So against a Pro Bowler.
Right.
You're gonna look horrible, and other elements on that line were hurt too. So it's but injuries happen. You don't use that excuse, but it's you see the difference
now they're back,
against Khalil Mack. When he's healthy, what he can do, and he's always proved it. He proved it last year going against Von Miller and everybody that they throw at him, and he got snubbed. He didn't make the Pro Bowl.
Von Miller?
No, Lane Johnson.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But
we're talking about the past. Our past 4 games.
Yeah, J.J. Watt, Donald, Mack. They didn't give up a single sack.
They're playing dogs. Like they're
It's
playing,
not-
they're playing the best D lineman in the league.
It's not just like
Clown-
just straight up one-on-one battles either. It's a scheme. Like they'll roll to certain ways, certain plays, and they'll neutralize.
Yeah.
You know, like I think they gave up one sack. I think what's his name, Floyd from the Bears had a sack last week.
And that was it, but the big name ain't get the set.
No. But it's yeah, your quarterback back there, and that's the thing with Foles. He's not the most mobile guy.
And he only hit Foles one time too.
Right. So you know when you can keep Foles clean, you keep any quarterback clean.
Yeah.
You know, and
Back to the play call, what I think it is too. Like Foles, like he gonna give it to whoever.
The thing with Foles this year, well, Foles in general, he gets the ball off quick, on time. Wentz, his clock this year was off, and the knee injury and everything.
I think that's what it is.
He didn't have a good off season.
Right, you just focused on getting back. He didn't really do the football part of it. I want to get my knee right, and everything else will fall into place, and it didn't. So it's kind of hard to watch. And the thing was, Wentz didn't really have a bad year.
No,
21 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 70% completion percentage.
He's not a good.
Like we take him for granted. I'm not
taking him for granted.
No.
You guys talking about getting rid of him.
No. I said the conversation's gonna start being had. It's just like when you go into a season, you're like, if the impossible, not the impossible, but something extraordinary happens to where your backup wins you a second Super Bowl. It's never happened. Yeah. Let alone once. Like the Giants happened back in the day where Phil Simms got hurt and Hostetler came in. And you know that happened, but it didn't happen the next season. So like when it keeps going on, it's just like, are we a team of fate? Like is Foles? Like you don't want to see Foles go somewhere else and have like a Kurt Warner run and end up a Hall of Famer. And Wentz, you know, like Wentz could be like a Stafford type, puts up the numbers, but he don't win the games.
Yeah.
So
I mean that's always out there, but Wentz is
great.
Hurt,
man. He 25.
He was spreading the rock.
Yeah.
That's the thing, but this year he
ducking.
That's why Hurts got the record because he was focused on Hurts.
That white boy got some rhythm, man. Like,
and I like the thing about Foles, but I like because he gets Alshon involved. He gets the other receivers. Like,
but Wentz was doing the same thing before. Let's go back and watch the film. That MVP or Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
He was doing all that. Like him and Alshon was like, they was on the same page. Now this year he just was using his safety blanket, Zach Ertz. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be exciting. I think we can definitely pull the win off, but we gotta, you know.
So you think we see Mike Wallace today at all?
They have to activate him already. I'm not sure. And at this point, man, he gonna go out there and pull a hammy. Like, you ain't really been out there running like that. You got all the speed in the world, but and rhythm. Like you can't just throw him out there and think like he's fast. It's a nice idea.
The decoy. Hey, you gotta respect that speed.
You gotta respect it.
You gotta respect the speed.
It's a difference running it in practice and running the game, man. So, like, I want that.
And he's in the dome, though, so it'll be in the dome.
Pretty nice warm weather.
So it's gonna be nice temperature weather.
Like Sidney Jones, I thought he might be back, but
just relax, man. Like, stop throwing my guy out there. Like, he's hurt. He can't never get healthy, man. Like. And then I get mad because he gets beat. I'm like, he's a bum, but I'm like, he's hurt.
That Cowboys game, he's sitting there like literally holding his hamstring, and you know they kept him out there.
Yo, like we have nobody else. Like,
so what's your score predictions?
Oh, it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a close game.
What's the score prediction? What's the score breakdown?
I'm not gonna give you a score, but I'm gonna give you a scenario. It's just gonna be the opposite of the Bears game. It's gonna come down to. They're gonna be down.
Bears game,
no, sure. not that. They're gonna be down by 1 or 2, and they're gonna need a field goal to win at the end.
Sure.
That's what. And Elliott comes out, ice in his veins, and he drills it. And that's why I see it. And the Superdome goes quiet, and we're just celebrating on their field. And that's what's gonna happen. Like I'm not good with the scores. Like I said, we might. Their defense is good too. Their secondary. I mean, they're the worst against the pass this year, but I feel like that's because they were up on a lot of teams, and teams had to air it out on them, and they didn't want to run the ball. But they got Lattimore. Eli Apple is food. Yeah. I don't really think anything's changed with Eli Apple. So
Lattimore can be
any corner. Foles' deep ball is so underrated. Like it's not that he has the biggest. It's not that he has the biggest arm. It's touch. And it's just like
crazy. You got touch.
I'm saying we got to score over 30 points to win this football game.
I don't really think, man. I think our defense is gonna come to play, and if they like the red zone, the way they've been stepping up in the red zone all year, and well, really since week 12. they've been a completely different defense. They need. You see how the O-line won last week's game. D-line needs to win this game.
Yeah,
Especially up the middle, because Drew Brees being this little guy, if you get in his face, make him get off his.
Yeah, yes. You see it in the Dallas game. Like
Yeah.
you like, oh, if he steps to the side, any other quarterback, they're gonna step to the side, and they're gonna be able to throw that ball. But Drew Brees couldn't. Like he's getting older, so he's not as quick. You see with Tom Brady too.
Yeah.
Like these guys can't step
That's
to the
what
side as fast as they used to. As fast as they used to.
That's what the NFL is too. It's a copycat league. Like, and the Cowboys showed how they could shut. You know, they had that. Yeah, they gave the league the blueprint to stop these guys. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Moving forward, we got any comments? I like our Facebook Live folks back. We weren't live last week, so I'm trying to give you guys some love today.
Foles is the closer from Tim Goodson. Ron Miller says he fits the offensive scheme better, but over a whole season. Jeremiah Melendez Torado wrote, Wentz long-term, Foles short-term, till Wentz is healthy. Ron said you guys are one-sided. So why are you talking about the future?
Very, very one-sided, Ron. We're not hiding that.
Kinsey said, yo. Vince Zahn said, Jernigan's going to be the difference up front, or Jernigan.
Yeah, Jernigan. He didn't play last game.
Holy Nada was a disappointment.
Nah, I feel like he's doing better since Jernigan came back because he's playing too many snaps. He's old, so he's good against the run.
My boxing guys here. What do you guys think of Broner Pacquiao coming out?
I mean, the fan in me, I'm going to order it. The fan in me is excited with the what could be. You know, Broner being the new Zab Judah, where I'm giving him a chance in any fight, every fight. But then reality happens and he goes out there. He doesn't always put his best foot forward. So, like, Adrian Broner on paper has one of those once in a generation type of skill sets. Does he always use that? No. Like, and he's gonna flash. He's gonna give you that flash. He's gonna give you some memorable. He's gonna become a mem this coming weekend. Like, he's gonna do something memorable. This is his first main event pay-per-view fight. He's gonna do something on the walkout or something that's gonna make his name trend. Will it be because he knocked out Manny Pacquiao? We've seen Manny Pacquiao get knocked out.
Right.
So does Broner want to be infamous or famous? That's the difference. Like, we see him talking all the good talk, and like I said, the fan in me wants to believe it. I will believe it. I'm gonna put down my money on it. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I remember the Maidana fight. You know what I mean? So he's never been knocked out, but he's been embarrassed, and he always comes with the excuses. So is Pacquiao worthy of giving you that performance that he would give you back in the day? Like,
you think Broner is one of the most disappointing fighters?
No. 3-division champ. He's not 30 years old yet. The book isn't written on him, but you like he just got arrested last week or two.
That money got to him, yo.
I say like that.
I mean, Mayweather tried. Mayweather tried to be in his ear and tell him all the right things, and he wasn't having it.
He's the definition of, like, when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah.
Like, he's super talented.
The thing with him, he hasn't resorted to the drugs or alcohol yet. So maybe alcohol.
Man,
but
he got mad kids though.
He got mad kids, but when great guys turn to the drugs and alcohol, that's when it messes with your skill set. Yeah. So he's lost to not better fighters, better game plans.
You know what I think it is? I think he's satisfied, yo. I don't think he's hungry no more.
Yeah, I mean, you make your first million.
Doing it for the check, because you see it, like, all his fights, man, like the ones that he's lost, like against like Porter and all, he's got, like, you wait to the last couple of rounds, you be like, yo, where was you?
Marvin Hagler said, man, his life is different. Like life is different when you start wearing them silk pajamas, man. Like, your hunger gets different. So
I mean, that's the thing about him. Like, he's at a point where, like, it's the defining point in his career time.
Yeah.
Like, if he needs a signature win. He needs to be dialed in at all times to, like, be a great fighter. Yeah. And he's not. Like, when he's not in fight mode, he's not in fight shape. So, like, he's one of those guys that gets ready to fight instead of stays ready to fight.
Yeah.
And, like, even when we saw Mayweather in China on New Year's or whatever he was doing, like, he wasn't it wasn't the best Mayweather shape we saw him in, but he was still in like good enough shape to knock somebody out in 30 seconds.
Yeah, that
You
was,
on the cold
time.
that was ridiculous.
Yeah, so like, but if that was Broner, like this guy would have been there, and he would have been looking like my man in the Great White Heights.
You see, that's the difference between being a good fighter and a great fighter. Floyd continuously trained, and you hear other boxers that train with him like he's broke.
Yep.
They say Floyd constantly trains like he's broke. And look where he's at. Guys like Jerry Rice. You know what I'm saying? These guys, all these other guys, these athletes that do it for a long. Kobe. Like, that's why Kobe and Shaq had their beef. Kobe was like, yo, this guy wouldn't train.
We talked about that last week.
That's why he wouldn't train,
Right.
you know? But listen, all the good ones, man, I just give you the longevity. So AI could have been the guy, but practice. You feel me? And that's Broner's. I think he's satisfied, and it's crazy, man. Like you was next up, the heir to the throne. Technically,
He was next up.
In the beginning, like when he was in the lighter weights, that's all you heard. Broner was like the next up.
I
Like,
think he moved up too quick. That was his problem too. Like he wanted, because there's more money at the bigger weights.
yeah,
Back when he had to brush his hair.
right.
At
But he still
every
Yeah.
Where my breath?
Like that's the Broner that everybody fell in love with. They were like, "Yo, where is that guy?" So I'm hoping, like they said, and Pacquiao said he got the whole Philippines with him, and Broner said he got the whole hood with him.
Right.
I'm about to say, yeah. Like
Broner,
Broner,
I want to see him succeed, but dog, like, just don't turn the gas on too late. Like,
definitely.
go from the rip, man.
Like we want to see Broner be great and reach his full max, and hopefully
Yeah, don't
we'll
rob
see that
us.
this week. Yeah. Another sidebar question that we were talking about here, and it's totally off topic. Totally off topic, but I'm bringing you into our conversation because that's all we are, is a bunch of friends talking anyway. It's going to be a little awkward here with this question. Is cannabis the biggest disappointment in rapper form ever?
I mean, what was the expectation?
DMX, like the next big thing.
Like, you already know how I felt about that. I just don't. He didn't want it, so you can't want something
You
that
don't think
somebody
Cannabis
else
wanted
doesn't. No, Cannabis was happy being an underground king and coming on Fantastic Four and killing everything. And he.
I still think Cool J's a sucker for what he
That's
did,
exactly
yo.
what I told him.
What'd he do?
You don't rewrite your verse when somebody else coming at, and he wasn't really a diss.
After you told Cannabis to change some stuff, and then you go back.
It was kind of like an homage. Like, I'm a fan. Can I borrow that mic real quick on your arm? And LL took it like a diss. And he went back and murdered him on something that Cannabis couldn't reply to.
I don't think it was like, I think that's what he's supposed to do. Like, you got somebody on your track.
I feel like the only reason that LL won was because of his fame. Like, Second Round Knockout's one of the best diss tracks of all time.
Return of the Ripper's hard too.
Name a line. Give me a line. 99% of your fans don't exist. That line?
Yeah, that was hard.
He said 99% of your fans wear high heels.
That was
and, you know what I mean? Like,
Hey, High Heels buy records.
I don't think people are really talking about Return of the Ripper that much as compared to Second Round Knockout. At
Second
least,
Round Knockout was hard.
especially he had Tyson on it, and it's just I can't really name anybody else in that light like Papoose.
That's another.
Papoose is disappointing,
Papoose he got bars though.
but he never made it to that plateau.
But he was getting more push too. He was getting more publicity than Cannabis was. Like, a lot of people back, like K Slade and all these guys was amping him up and all that, man. Papoose. We in high school, like all the DJs. He was on Green Lanterns. He was on anybody that was a DJ that had to put the mixtapes out. Papoose was on it. Rapping the alphabet.
I was gonna say Pap is hard. Like he's hard too.
Still,
I'm just saying because you're trying to think of Cannabis is a disappointment because he didn't make it mainstream.
Well, I can't name a Cannabis song outside of Second Round Knockout, and that's because he was coming out of LL.
I'm not gonna argue that. I can't either. But I'm not the biggest Cannabis fan, and but Cannabis was going on to be what he became, and that's a lot of nothing.
He signed with Wyclef, and it was like all downhill.
Yeah,
Can you hear that song, Wyclef? No, that wasn't his song.
We
But yeah,
got-
no, you're right. I'm not gonna argue that. But biggest disappointment, I don't think he wanted it. You can say Joe Budden is the biggest disappointment
Oh, wow, yeah.
Ooh, Joe had some.
to
Heat,
you.
though.
How big did he
To
get though?
you, to the mainstream, he's pump it up guy.
He's podcast Joe now.
They got switch. They got shit
Pump
that
it
is
up.
way better than Pump It
Yeah,
Up.
I know.
yeah, I know.
The general public, I know
Yo.
that. I know that. General public don't know that.
That mixtape Loose Quarter, that's like,
And all the mood music.
All
But
the
it's
music.
mainstream.
Yeah, like-
Joe Budden does anything. Oh, the pump it up guy. And you forget Focus was right behind it. Fire was right behind it. But he's a one-hit wonder to some people.
you see
Yeah.
guys like him.
Tim Goodson wrote, "Shame people only know Papoose from being Remy's husband."
Now,
Yeah, the younger generation, he's right. Like, that's right. And Papoose got bars. Like, that's probably the. No, I was
Lyrical,
about to say, like, one of the most talented music couples around, but we got Jay and Ho. But they're number two. I mean, I don't know. There ain't too many more music. Well, it might not be number two because Swiss and Alicia Keys are pretty much up there, too. You see Swiss's son be producing these tracks, and the joints be hot. Like, these beats be hard.
But supposed to be taking credit.
We got a comment that Budden is trash and afraid that M's gonna flame him.
Oh, who's
That's
that?
from Jared Stakelback.
well, we know where Mr. Stinkleback lies on that one. We'll leave that alone.
Gee,
I mean,
Button's garbage?
But that's not saying a lot, because ain't too many other people gonna say nothing to Eminem either. Like,
Well, I think Button.
he gave him a run for his
Eminem
money.
had the most record sales this year.
Who?
Eminem with the most
Man,
units.
those numbers ain't what they used to be, man. They counting
Yeah.
streams as sales, and I mean, ain't nobody really selling anything. So to go platinum now doesn't really mean the same as going platinum back in the day. So
He's the complexion for protection.
selection,
Selection?
yeah,
Protection, too.
right. Whatever you want it to be. Though.
But no, M is hot. His last,
Like, that's,
like his
that's
last,
the PC
The
thing to say.
Kamikaze.
no, his last album was
Kamikaze was trash.
no.
Ah,
Okay,
It wasn't like hot.
trash. Where's the trash can? It's trash.
It wasn't hot, but it wasn't like
It wasn't hot. What's the famous
It wasn't
Jadakiss
garbage.
line, man? Something's half whack. I forget what it is, man. No, so I'm not gonna quote the great Jadakiss, but if something's half nice, that means it's half whack. So,
no. That just means it's not like
no, man.
the best.
Okay.
Like these guys, like listen, when you're that caliber, like you can't afford a mediocre album.
But you don't need to keep the thing with Eminem is he keeps trying to tell us he can rap. Like he
We
should
know
be
already.
Jay-Z don't do that no more. Jay like he's not trying to prove that he can rap anymore. He's doing what a 49-year-old rapper should be doing.
And see, the
A
thing,
lyrical exercise, just going out there and rapping. You don't need to tell me
and this is why
how great you are.
Jay's my favorite because like we've actually got to grow with him. Like
Yeah,
literally,
yeah.
like as we matured, so has he. Like his subject matter has gotten a whole lot better. Like now this dude's rapping about financial freedom. Like, and if you're not no adult, none of that, like you're not going. If you're not an OJ fan, that's why a lot of these young cats don't like him. But yo, he has for that reason alone, he's a GOAT. Like you can make albums. Snoop can give you a song, but Jay can come out with a whole album, and everybody's still like, yo.
Yeah. I mean, Hope is that guy, but I don't know. I'm not gonna say that right now.
No, please say it right now. Please say it right now.
No, because we're a little iffy now with Hope, man. This whole era, we don't know if it's Foxy and Beyonce was underage. And, so we don't want to talk about
that's
that.
right.
We know,
So I ain't gonna say that. 'cause I
That's
don't even
right.
want to shut down TCP, man.
For sure, Foxy was underage.
But they were never linked romantically like that. It
Nah, but
just
she was on the
rumors.
album rapping what she was rapping about. For
Yeah,
sure,
was
she
she
was
rapping a
underage.
couple tracks with him?
But that was Dame. Dame would have.
I mean, I thought he
Dame
found
would've
her.
lived.
Yeah, where'd he
They
find her?
died when she was 22.
The Dame was close.
Dame dated later
that was his
too, right?
girlfriend.
Nah, Dame, she was grown by then, like, but I don't know, man. It's a touchy subject. And we're never gonna like.
We're not getting into. We don't want them powerful dudes to come around here and tell us.
That's not the point, but it's like you want to ruin your
That's why-
childhood behind like it's not facts anymore. It's just like
Nah, well, they're trying to ruin all black childhoods now, man. They took R. Kelly from us. They
That's
took
not
Bill
ruining.
Cosby
That's
They
not
from us.
ruined it when
ruining
they
my
did when they
childhood.
continued
Kanye from us.
slavery for years.
Yeah, they're taking our all black childhoods right now.
I wouldn't go that far, man. All right, but I get what
He's
you're saying.
trying, man.
I get what you're saying.
I can't even watch Bill Cosby look at him and say, I
Ain't
used
even
to show Bill
showing no
Cosby in
more.
class.
Don't even show it no more.
I,
What channel is that on?
oh,
You got the DVDs?
I watch it on Amazon, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like,
I'm sure
It's
he
just-
appreciates from his jail cell.
well, you know, I'll shoot him a couple Jello shots. Nah. Hey, it's about that time, so we gotta wrap up, man. We definitely appreciate everybody that tuned in today. It was our first live back at it, so we appreciate the comments, we appreciate the shares, we appreciate the likes. Make sure you do the same on the Opinionated Facts Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram page, Twitter page, all that social media stuff that we're not good at. Make sure that you that you try to just follow, and we'll definitely try to keep you updated on everything we're doing. It's a TCP Sunday, so you already know. Following us is Say Less, and we have the Queens of Raw Royalty. I think it's Raw Royalty first. Raw Royalty first, then Say Less, and then it's Sit Down with the Johnsons. So make sure you tune in on Sundays. We got you locked in here. Shout out to King's Court for being here. Man, you already know you guys are extended family of the Opinionated Facts, TCP. It's all one big collaboration. Shout outs. You guys got any shout outs before we get up out of here?
Shout out to the Bird Gang. Ski mask season. You know what I mean?
Jack.
Shout out to everybody.
That's it. We're just gonna go everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, you can't just nobody's excluded there. Everybody gets a shout out.
Why not?
I appreciate it.
We're all about positivity, man.
2019.
Yeah.
I'm a positive guy.
I like to think that I am. Am I? I don't know.
You like to think that I am.
I like to think that I am, so I try to fool myself into it. So,
Hey man, I'm gonna give a shout out to the city right now, man, because I'm on just the vibe we're on. I just found out what vibe was like 3 weeks ago.
you know the
Opinionated
vibes,
Facts.
man. You're using
But
it the
now I
right
know
way,
the
though.
vibes, man.
What are the vibes?
Like this is a vibe right here, you know.
The
Us
city,
talking?
though. The city, though.
The city.
You
What's the
said
city
shout
vibe?
out. You said shout out to the city. They know the vibes.
Shout out to the city, man. Like I like the vibe that's going on right now. The positivity that's going on in the city. I like the people that's out here grinding. I like the small businesses that are doing it. And I like the kids that are out here, working to be great. That's what we did when we were coming up. And if they ever need anything, feel free to reach out to Coach Way and whoever, you know what I mean? So the vibe, man. It's the city.
I just want to make sure you're using it right. Like,
Thank you.
we're gonna teach you. We're gonna teach you other lingo like no cap, like no capping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, say that for next week.
It's like just lying. Like don't start capping.
All right. I thought it was like
Try to
shooting.
try to
Remember
take the
when we
week.
was younger, it was boosting.
Like try to take the
he
week
boosted,
and then next
right.
week just drop it in a sentence on them and be like, oh B man,
He's
that's
a
good.
teacher. He's an old teacher that don't know the lingo.
Yeah, because I'm gonna start killing my students with that one. No,
Don't start capping.
like, don't start capping. I don't want to start ducking. Like
Oh, they know what you're saying.
Well, I see it, bro.
So
Say
every
it.
week we'll try to teach you new lingo, man.
Definitely. For next week is no capping. Dixon, appreciate you coming through, man. You got any shout outs? Shout out to the
Hey.
Cowboys.
Shout
See you
out
next
to
year.
other Cowboy fans, yo. Just
On
shut
the
your
other
mouth.
side.
Shut your mouth. Be humble. Maybe we'll win it next year or another 15, 20 years. But just take that loss on the chin and no need to fight anybody.
Don't need to fight anybody. That's how y'all feeling.
Y'all fighting?
Yeah, it's not, I'm not fighting. There's some people that are, though.
Nah, see, I ain't gonna lie, we lose a day. It all depends on who's talking trash to.
Yeah.
No, no, but the Eagles fans, please don't be those guys that, because I see a lot of Cowboys fans, Giants fans do it a lot. When your team loses, don't be that guy like, I'm here win or lose, and like, if you're questioning your fanhood off one loss, then they don't really need you. Like, I don't really get that point. It's every year people post that shit. It's like, for what?
Yeah, I blame it on all the bandwagon fans that jumped on board these past couple of weeks.
Drake
Oh,
Bills.
man.
I saw a picture with Drake and
Yeah,
Smith.
listen,
Drake?
He better
Yeah,
have
Drake
his,
has a curse, man.
Are
you
you
know what?
Cowboys fan?
He's not a Cowboys fan, but like if he has your jersey on, or if he's taking a picture, he took a picture of Alvin Kamara.
Oh, that's good.
That's very good.
But you know he got ties to Louisiana, so you know he's gonna be in the Saints jersey. You know he's gonna be in the Saints
he gonna
jersey.
rep Philly
mind
with
it.
No,
me.
he's
I
not.
wouldn't mind
No,
it.
he's not.
He gonna have
No,
Philly
he's
with
not.
me.
He rep Toronto.
Wow,
They
man.
can't make it to the finals. He rep Alabama. We saw what happened to them. Who else is Drake repping? I know those two, but
Hopefully
there's
the
like, there's four
Eagles.
other teams. Like
Hopefully
McGregor,
represent-
Conor McGregor. He was
Yeah.
with him. Saw what happened to him. It's a Drake curse, man. You see, LeBron didn't wear no gear last night. We didn't get to that topic. LeBron's not a Cowboys fan no more.
He still is.
He didn't wear no Cowboys gear. You didn't see him yucking it up with Jerry Jones.
He's smart. He's in LA. Come on.
So what? You know who his favorite player to watch is, though?
Carson Wentz.
Right.
When he's on the field.
Right.
Listen,
He said
like half the season.
Wow.
That's his favorite player to watch.
No.
Hey, man. Well, like I said, we appreciate everybody coming through. Shout out to the 7-letter family also. That's it. So stay laid up, stay prayed up, stay out the way, and listen to what some old folks have to say. See you guys next week. Peace.
You should come quick, man.